videos now, but it's absolutely fine. Josh, I feel like we are talking about Lewis Cook, and you might want to have an opinion on that. But whilst we're in midfield, I feel like we can't not talk about Alex Scott, who has finally stepped up to the plate. He looks the player we brought in. I like Alex Scott. I think he's the one guy that can drive us forward, has that technical ability, and now scoring goals.
Yeah, and he looks much more like the player that we signed rather than the one that we've seen, I think. He had a good start, didn't he? I remember he was good at the Etihad, and then he got injured, and then it was another injury, and then Christie was brilliant, and then Christie had his injury, and now Scott looks like the one that's brilliant. And I think with Scott, I think it's all about confidence. I think he's next to Tyler, who he's clearly comfortable with. I think he's with Semenyo's in front of him. He's played at Bristol City, and he almost knows that. There's a bit of familiarity, that's the word. And you've got Tav as well, and I think Tav's an important player to put with Scott because Tav moves, and that means Scott can go forward, whereas Cliver is a bit more attacking. And Scott will just pick up the ball, he'll drive forward, he can put passes left and right. And I think he's been such a good player this season. I think that goal at Brighton as well, amazing finish. And he's got a lot of potential as well, Scott. He could be a player that plays with his team for a number of years. So really, really good what we're seeing from him.
And James, a few seasons ago, we were both raving about what Scott could deliver. I mean, did you even maybe tip him to be in this upcoming World Cup? But I mean, the lad's got bundles of talent, and I'm just so glad it seems to be coming to fruition.
Under Southgate, I would, not under Tuchel. If you want to know which team's going to the World Cup, just look at the team that played last night. That's it. Tuchel that man is not for moving. He's picked his squad. He's sticking with it. That's what's happening. I said when he came in, we spoke to the guys at Bristol City who watched him. Watch the Jersey Grealish. They loved him. They loved the fact that he could play anywhere. They said he's just looking down. The Alex Scott, as Josh so rightly says, this is the Alex Scott that we bought. And this is the Alex Scott that's come out of those under-21 championships. And if you watched any of that, he was integral to the success of the England team in the under-21 championships. It's a natural step up just to go from under-21s to the full England squad. I don't know what Aussie is making that squad at this moment in time, but if he puts in a hell of a performance for the rest of the season, like I know we can, it's a cliche to say that there are shades of Gascoigne in Alex Scott, but there really are. 2 good feet, always wants the ball, loves a turn, loves jinking past defenders, loves trying to do different things and trying to experiment. And these are the players that excite you. He is the modern day, to take it back to another 90s reference from AFC Bournemouth. He is a modern day Paul Wood. Paul Wood under Tony Pulis is the only player that ever looked at going forward and playing the ball on the ground. I love him to bits. I think he's a fantastic player, and his partnership with Adams is looking great.
Go on, Josh, because I also feel, Josh, that I need a little bit more energy in supporting England right now. I know we won the other night, but it's still tough when the international breaks come round.
I can't lie, I didn't watch last night. I was actually at a game. I was working at Winchester, so I couldn't actually watch it. But I was just going to add on Scott. I think he looks a bit more strong this year as well. He looks less lightweight. He's getting about a lot more physically, I think, especially with tackles. He's doing a lot more sliding tackles. He's getting about a bit more, and I think that's something that really held him back, was that physicality in the Premier League. You just get pushed over. I still think there's times where he is weak, but I think he's using it now to get free kicks more, and I think that's an asset that we could use.
Yeah, David, he loves a Grealish dive, doesn't he? And you know when it's coming as well. You know he's looking for that moment where it's in the half spaces, it's about 20, 30 yards. He's looking for it. He gets it all the time.
Yeah, there was one occasion against Spurs, I think, where he did a lovely little step over, took the trailing leg and went over. I agree with Josh that last season he looked super lightweight, and any time that Christie came off, we really looked like we were diminished in that midfield. I think this season he's definitely a lot stronger. He covers the ground a lot more, gets involved, and has been driving forward a lot more. Like when he first came on the scene. I think was a goal against Fulham that he ran through the midfield, a couple of step overs, laid it off to Cliver, and I just thought we've got a player here, and it's taken a little while to sort of get back to those levels, but it's definitely some really good signs that he could could be this player that really competes with Christie, because I still think that we do lack that level of energy that Christie provides in the midfield, and I don't think Scott's quite got it. But like Josh was saying before, the squad depth that we've got at the moment is just fantastic, and each player provides a little bit of something else. So, yeah, exciting times.
So I have promised the guys that we will close this stream out around 9:30. So we do want to move on to Crystal Palace in a bit, because Omid in the chat has said, I think Christie and Adams will start on Saturday. So we'll come back to that in a moment. We've got some predicted lineups from SofaScore that we'll look at. But final question of the topics before we do move on. And I know, James, you were talking about not being too negative about, potentially losing Semenyo and stuff, but Sammy's asked an interesting question. And Sammy says that she's really enjoying at the moment watching AFC Bournemouth. We finally got a 3-1 win because it took 20 matches to get one, her favourite scoreline. So Sammy, James, has sent me, obviously nobody wants Andoni to leave. However, if he did, would it hurt more than when Eddie left?
It hit different. So no, because I've likened this before, and it's very unfashionable to get romantic on a chat about football. But when you lose Eddie, it's like you lost your high school sweetheart who you've known from a young age. Yeah, it's like you eventually agreed after a long relationship to go your separate ways, to have a parting of the ways that was mutually agreed on. And if we were to lose Andoni Iraola, it would be like losing the love affair from some Mediterranean escapade that we had at the height of summer. The boys of summer playing in the background. We know it's an amazing relationship, but it's too good. It can't possibly last. We know it can't last, but we want it to last. We want to believe in it. And when it doesn't, it's going to come crashing down. So we're going to feel the pain. And football, just like life, is all about feeling pain, but we're going to feel it in completely different ways.
The thing is, Josh, I don't even really want to think about it. I'm not going to lie. So the Eddie one hurt, but I think everyone understood he was tired. It wasn't a surprise to me. We went through the emotions of Mad Dog getting the job, which I didn't trust at all, but I understood why he was given the chance. Then we went through Woodgate. Then we went through Parker. Okay, he got the job done in the Championship. Then we got a bit of Gary O'Neill in there. We're in such a one. I just love it. I just love this. And I think it was Mark Jackson said, Andoni couldn't have done what Eddie did, and Eddie couldn't do what Andoni's doing at Bournemouth. And I think that is a really good analogy. I just don't want to think about it, mate, but it's going to come. Surely there's not a planet in this world, in the galaxy, wherever, Josh, that Andoni leaves us before the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I can't see that happening. I don't think he will. And I'm not sure there is anywhere that could really attract him to. I've always thought Andoni might go back to Spain, to be honest, but it doesn't seem like any of the big clubs there really need a new manager. And I can't see him going anywhere in the Premier League other than your Arsenals, your Cities, your Liverpool. So I'd say he's obviously got his contract in the summer that needs renewing. And Thiago Pinto obviously came out and said that their first, third, and I think, what was it, first, second and third options were all Andoni Iraola. But and while you don't want to think about it, but I think the club have earned a level of trust where Andoni's definitely the hardest to replace in terms of players or manager. We know we can replace players, but I'm sure when the time comes, we'll have a big plan in place. They'll have their first, their second, their third options. And I'm sure we'll find another manager who's young, exciting. And I don't think he will be as big a loss as Eddie, firstly, but I think there is still a project here with or without players, manager. And I think that's just the art of the club we are, really. It's sort of that money ball that a lot of Premier League clubs did. I mean, Brentford, they've obviously lost Thomas Frank and they've replaced Keith Andrews. I don't think we'll do that. I think we'll probably go European, but there'll be something. The club are doing really well with running things these days.
I think he is special, David, and fair play to the people inside the club that found him, because we're all like, who at the start, and then we're quickly online trying to find out more about it. And then you got a little bit of trust in the process that actually this guy has been doing some decent stuff in Spain. I'm of the feeling, David, and I don't know Andoni Iraola personally. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him, but I feel like the guy's not in a hurry. Like, I feel like the guy's got a plan, and I'm sure it is bigger than AFC Bournemouth. I hope actually that he wants to be part of the new stadium. But is it, again, Europe? Is that a game changer?
Possibly. Look, I think it's more about the opportunities that may come up elsewhere than I think he'll stick with us until that right opportunity presents itself. The fact that he doesn't sign long contracts, I think he just likes to keep his options open. But yeah, I mean, it's, as you said, it's something you don't want to think about, something you just want to enjoy in the moment. And for me personally, it's something I want to get over to the UK and see in person before it actually goes away. So, you just got to enjoy the moment while it's here, and whatever happens in the future will take care of itself. And, you know, as you said, we've got trust that there are people at the club that found him, so you got to have trust in them. They'll be able to find a replacement.
Yeah. So let's stop talking about it, because he's a Bournemouth manager, head coach right now, and he absolutely loves the Cherries. He's got the new training grounds and he's happy. And Aaron thinks he might sign one more year. I hope he does. Right. Earlier in the stream, on the previous stream, guys, James, Josh, David, we did guess the player. Well, I gave you the first hint. So I'm going to go back into there. So we're going to do guess the player. You can get involved in the chat. So you're trying to find the player that I'm giving you hints for, and it's giving you club badges, and I'm going to give you some more. And then I'll give you an opportunity to throw some answers in the chat, and then we're going to talk about Crystal Palace. So if you can remember, a little while ago, I gave you this hint. Okay, so behind this image, James, Josh, and David, you had Plymouth, hidden badge, Blackpool, Bournemouth, hidden badge, and Notts County. I feel like this might open up a little bit now. So here is hint 2. Guess the player. Who is it? We are now looking at Plymouth, Everton, Newcastle, Blackpool, Bournemouth, Watford, and Notts County. Oh. Now, I'm going to remove this image because I feel like I'm going to see some faces. James, you feel like...
I'm there.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
but it feels like it's a game changer, James.
What? The clue is the player wasn't.
Which is why I hid so many. Josh, don't give me your answer. Do you feel like you've got the guy?
I think so.
David?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like if we dive in the chat. So you've got 12 seconds. Guess the player. I want your answer in there. Who is it? Who are we talking about? The second hint definitely gave it away in the chat, 100%, and on screen, I think. James, who do you think it is?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, why not? I'll go around the room.
The chat answers, and then we can look clever.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to go in the chat? Shall I go in the chat?
Yeah, go do the chat answers. Give it to them.
Like, I'll tell you who's really good. So Mark Singleton's gone for Dembele. Mark Cole's gone for Dan Gosling.
That's who I had.
John Spark has gone Gozza. Gosling, Gavin Peacock, Dan Gosling. James, who do you think it is?
So a player who was surprisingly good on FIFA 18, Dan Gosling.
He was also good in cup competitions as well. David.
I had Gosling as well. I'm surprised. I thought he was at Everton from the very start, but
no, he had. Well, I've given it away now, won't I? But there was your second hit. And the guy it is Dan Gosling. Played a lot of games for us, actually. Well over 200, I think. Someone Eddie much relied on as well, James, at moments in his career.
In a lot of Eddie's big wins, Dan Gosling played. I remember that one at Chelsea.
Yeah, and the Southampton goal. Do you remember the Southampton goal? We went end to end.
Yes. I like Dan Gosling, a workhorse, an old school box to box midfielder.
Yeah. He was still surprisingly young, Josh. I mean, he could still play, but he only had 7 appearances for Notts County, and I think is he now at Watford because Charlie Daniels is over there? Maybe, I don't know. He might be over there with coaching.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
How many times did he play for Blackpool? I don't remember him ever being there.
Well, I got this information off Transfermarkt, I think. So we'll take it as it is. But I mean, I thought he started off at Everton, but he didn't. He had a few Football League clubs. So fair play. Well done in the chat. Got it there. So on Saturday, we are heading to London to take on Crystal Palace. Not going to be an easy game. Do us a massive favour on Cherries Red Army. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. Do hit the like button, and we'll get some stats from James regarding Crystal Palace on Saturday. So we're in London, James, again, and Crystal Palace, decent side. They've got a cup under their belts now as well. They've lost some big-time players in Eze, but that hasn't seemed to halt their progress, although they were on a massive run just before the international break. But you can beat them.
You can, but you can beat anyone in this league. That's what excites me about this Premier League this season. We haven't had a good multi-team title run for what feels like ages, and I can feel it bubbling away this season. I can feel a good relegation battle because those places are going to be up for grabs as the season goes down, and I think we're going to get a good bubble for the title picture with teams like us and teams like Palace. Maybe we won't be in the picture at the end, but we'll certainly be able to write the story of it with the teams that we're potentially going to take points off of. So yeah, no, any team's beatable. Selhurst Park's a great place to watch football. Two attacking teams, two teams that like to play football the right way. I'm fired up for this incoming 0-0.
What I was going to say, my boy said he went, we're going Saturday. He goes 0-0 written all over, but that's generally at home, I think. I mean, we've had some dire games at Dean Court where Crystal Palace have come for the draw, but away we do all right. I mean, I know it's a bit 50-50, David, on the old history, but we have had some big wins there. Kiefer Moore's got a goal there. You know, we've had some big wins there.
Yeah, we've had a couple of good wins there. We've had some dire games there as well. I think the last time we went there was 0-0, I think.
No, you are correct. Yeah, last season was 0-0. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I think whatever the game is, if it is a dire game, and if it is one goal in it, you know, as long as, you know, we show up and defensively sound, I would take a point personally. But you know, yeah, we've always been able to, not always, but often been able to get a result there. So yeah, hopeful.
So I think, Josh, it's 2 wins in 8 attempts. Scored twice in both of those wins. We've had the draw. Jermaine Defoe, didn't he? Got a good goal, couple of goals there, I think. I mean, one team's 4th, Bournemouth, one team's 6th, Crystal Palace. I feel like it might be, I'm hoping we can chase Europe. I know I keep talking about Europe in this stream, but I think it'll be pivotal to keeping players like Semenyo and Andoni Iraola potentially. It might just be an extra bargain in hand, but it might be the other side of the coin where it'll be 2 teams fighting for 9th, 10th, 11th come the end of the season.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect game really to have on after the international break, because it's 2 teams where you do think they're going to be in and around each other at the end of the season. And I think Palace is a really, really tough place to go, and they've got a lot of threat in Sarr, in Mateta, in Munoz. They've got quality like Adam Wharton in the middle. I think Palace are a really good side, and I agree with a lot of the stuff David said, just about maybe defensive solidity. To be honest, on Saturday, I'd take a point, and I wouldn't mind a boring 0-0 at Selhurst Park. I really wouldn't, because I think Palace are going to be in the race for Europe, and if we're taking points off a team like Palace, who are going to be there, I think we will be too.
So I'm going on Saturday with my boy. We've only not been to 2 stadiums currently of the batch of current 20 Premier League sides, and Steve Connor says Selhurst Park is an awful place to watch football as an away fan. So the 2 grounds we hadn't been to was Leeds and Palace. So we've already done Leeds now, and I found, although the atmosphere was good at Leeds, James, I found that was quite a tough watch because the roof again cut. I mean, Senesi sticks a ball down the line, you lose the ball for 10 seconds, right? So I feel like there are going to be sections of this Selhurst stadium, even though they've obviously adapted some of the ends behind the goal. There are some poor viewing points, I think.
There are, yeah. It's going to be very similar to Elland Road. But what you've got to look forward to is some stats. Can I read one for you? That's going to give you some hope for the weekend.
We need them. Right, let's
When
have it.
taking into account only the first half of matches in the Premier League this season, Crystal Palace would be top of the league with 17 points. They've been winning for 5 of their games and drawn 2 of their games at half-time. However, in second halves, the Eagles would have just 7 points in 7 games and would be 14th in the table. And if there's one thing this Bournemouth team likes, it's a second half comeback. Could be fireworks at Selhurst Park this weekend. The other stat I wanted to share with the group, and I'll keep the glasses on for this, and this is for people in the chat. Each of Bournemouth's last 102 Premier League goals, excluding own goals, have been scored by players younger than 30 years. Who was the last over 30-year-old player to score for AFC Bournemouth in a Premier League game?
Oh, now your audio just dived out at the end. So just let's have that again, Jay. Just at the end where you were talking about the age. So let's just have that again.
So each of Bournemouth's last 102 Premier League goals, excluding own goals, have been scored by players younger than 30.
Right.
Who was the last over 30-year-old to score a Premier League goal for Bournemouth?
So my initial feeling would be potentially Adam Smith, but I don't remember him scoring too many recently. Obviously, Everton, West Brom. Is that before Defoe times?
I was going to say Defoe Pallet. It might have been Defoe.
Okay, so I'll give you a bonus clue. I'll give you a bonus clue. This goal was scored against Crystal Palace in December 2023.
No, that's not Defoe then. Because that was under Eddie. That would have been under Eddie Howe. So that's before 2019. Right.
That was the year we beat Palace when it was Sinisterra Moore at their place. So I don't know. It would have been at our place.
Lerma wasn't over 30, was he?
Lerma wasn't over 30. And while you're having some thinking time, if
Kiefer Moore.
Kiefer Moore is correct in injury time at Selhurst Park. And if Bournemouth do win this weekend, and if you do take your son to Selhurst Park for the first time to see Bournemouth win this weekend, it will be AFC Bournemouth's 100th Premier League win.
Wow.
Of all time.
Clip that. Someone clip
Stats
that. I'll clip it.
Don't lie.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, Kiefer Moore. It just come to mind. I actually did a watch along for that game, and I remember my mic flying over somewhere, and the audio went terrible, but I was just ecstatic. 2-0. 2-0 win. I think Marcus Senesi got the first goal in that game as well. But yeah, really like that. Right, let's see if I can get the predicted lineups for us on screen on SofaScore, David. Let me see if I can work my magic, as he says. Let me share screen. We are live on YouTube.
Petrovic in goal.
Yeah. So, David, let's look at our side. So this is just SofaScore. This is their predicted lineup for Saturday, David. So Petrovic in goal, James Hill right back, Diakite, Senesi, Truthert, Adams and Scott, Brooks, Clivert, Semenyo and Even Ilson. Now, instantly, David, when I look at that, we'll come to Palace in a moment. James Hill's an interesting one. Now, I look at the fixture away. This is going to be a tough game. They look like they're strong in the first half. So actually, if Andoni Iriola's looking at this stream and watching James and listening to James in the last 5 minutes, you don't play Jimenez. Correct, David?
Well, I mean, I would be playing Jimenez, but...
He likes the yellow early doors, though. He likes the yellow early doors, David.
He does. Well, he likes... I mean, the yellows he takes are when he's overcommitted and players get behind him. But yeah, I would still go for Jimenez to start off with. I think he's probably the better offensive threat going forward. And if we're going to go beyond that, I would probably also, as I think Josh mentioned, I think Christie will play that other central midfield role with Tyler Adams on Saturday.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it, Josh? The Scott again for Christie. And as I said, we've spoken really highly of Scott. We sort of brought him into the Lewis Cook conversation. But again, you're going to want control of the ball when you get it. We know that if potentially Will Hughes is in there or Wharton, and we know that they're going to be good out on the chalk as well with Muniz. Interesting call for Andoni Iraola, Scott or Christie. I can see the benefit to both, Josh.
Yeah, I can too. I think against a team like Palace as well, the midfield battle is where you're going to win the game, as they have Wharton, they have Hughes, they have maybe Sarr who can tuck in maybe as an attacking midfielder. And it's a bit like the Fulham game, really. That was a real midfield battle, as they had some big players like Sander Berg in the midfield. I think that game was really won by the midfield, and I think we're going to have to do it again. So I think as much legs as possible is important. And I think we'll probably talk a little bit about Tav and Clive, I expect, later, but I think having Christie is probably worthwhile when you get those extra legs. I mean, Scott can come on later and really pick out a pass if we need him to, or sort of thread the needle late on. But I think, yeah, in general, especially the way Palace play, they're very quick end to end. I think Christie will be the one that starts for me.
Yeah, an interesting choice. Omid thinks that it will be Jimenez, but as I said, he seems to pick up silly bookings. He is new, he is adapting. I do like him. I think he is very good going forward, but I do wonder if we are a little bit more reserved. Well, it's not our game, but we're a little bit more reserved in the first half, and we unload sort of everything we can in the second half. I do want to move to that, James, in regards to up top, what Josh just talked about there and mentioned, and that's on the Tavernier Kluivert, because I agree with you. I mean, Andoni does like Tavernier. He has him in there for certain reasons within the style that we have, but Kluivert is a game changer, scored a fantastic goal, changed the game when he come off the bench. Interesting call there as well, because you don't see Brooks coming out. For me, Gannon Doak's done very well lately, but Impact at the moment, again, still adapting as well. Adley isn't really taking his chance, but I feel like he's adapting to the country. Tavernier for Kluivert will be an interesting call for Iraola on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so. I think he likes Tavernier too much as a starter, and as you make the point, you know, Kluivert's a game changer, and it's still coming back from injury. And I think they've had a long break, you know, over the international breaks. It's like so I think Tavernier will be fully rested and is likely to be brought back into this game. I just think it follows the pattern. Palace have scored the first goal in 5 Premier League games this season, with only Man City doing that, you know, more often, you know, once more. I think they like to start quickly. So if we can be smart to that, and if we can not concede first, we've got a chance. But the stats say that they're likely to take the lead. They're at home, so that then we're going to need impact players coming off the bench. And I think Kluivert has more of an impact coming off the bench than Tavernier does.
And we don't know yet if Kluivert is fully fit. They are seemingly trying to ease him back in. Josh, let's go over to the predicted lineup for Crystal Palace on SofaScore. They set up as a 3-4-3 here. Dean Henderson, I think he's a solid goalkeeper. Shot stopper is probably his main attribute for me. They've got the back three, Gahey, the crew, Richards. I think you like the right fullback, wing back. Mitchell's over the other side. Hughes, Wharton, Sarr has been very decent for them. Pino, and then Mateta's going to be a handful, isn't he, Josh?
Yeah, I don't think Palace are too dissimilar to us, to be honest, with how they play. It's just a bit of a different formation. They're really dynamic. They're quick. They really go from defence to attack quickly. And they've got a lethal attacker in Jean-Philippe Mateta, who I think is going to cause Senesi a lot of problems. I don't think he's really faced, other than Ekatike maybe on the opening day of the season, I don't think we faced a handful in a number 9 like Mateta. He's big, he's physical, he's quick, and he's one of the best finishers in the league. I don't think you can dismiss Sarr either. He's really nice. The way Palace are so good in attack is that they almost free roam their 2 number 10s. I mean, Pino, he's quite new there. He's quite young. He's come from La Liga, but I expect he'll be a great player. He's sort of the Eze replacement. And then you've got the wing backs to deal with as well. There's a lot going on for Palace. And there's a lot of threat that they can bring to us. And you say there as well at the back, they're really solid. And we've all seen how good Mark Gay is for England. So they definitely bring a lot of threat to us.
And I do think it'll be interesting as well, David, in regards to that midfield, if that's what they're going to play. Will Hughes and Wharton. I mean, Wharton's being spoken about potential transfer like Semenyo in the future. Will Hughes has always been a solid Premier League player, very good on the ball, does well to sort of win possession and then get his own team in transition. So midfield could be a bit of a battle in there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Will Hughes has always been a tenacious midfielder, strong in the tackle, likes to get about. Wharton's got a little bit more polish about him, I think. And yes, I think Hughes and Adams sort of match up well. And I think, whether it's Scott or whether it's Christie and Wharton, I think it's a very astute point that they're pretty similar to us in that midfield. One other thing I would say as well is looks like three at the back. When Newcastle played three at the back, and I think Fulham started with three at the back as well against us, we have struggled to create and go forward against a three at the back. So that's going to be something that Andoni's hopefully got the players learning from, and we can find a way to break down those defences. Yeah,
fell into a bit of a back five for Fulham. I mean, okay, fair enough. They didn't have any strikers, so I could see what the game plan was. They just wanted to nick that 1-0. But, if you are an intelligent head coach and you want to see where the weakness is for Bournemouth, it's trying to break down a low block and a pragmatic, if you put everyone behind the ball, that seems to be our biggest challenge. So where do our goals come from then, James? Because that does look like a solid Crystal Palace side. When you look at the defence, it's got good height. The goalkeeper, I think, is pretty decent for... I'm not being disrespectful, but Dean Henderson, he's been around the block a little bit now. He's a solid goalkeeper, done well in the FA Cup final. But that, they've got Gahey, they've got Lacroix, I think you say it. They're solid. They're solid at the back. So is it going to take a 30-yarder? Because you're bringing out the stats. I mean, I'm not bringing out the full stats, but we are on target to get the most goals from outside the box ever in a Premier League season at the current run rate.
Can't get it in the box. Did you know as well that to further to trump your stat, I didn't even know that goals prevented was a stat that you could download. Dean Henderson's goals prevented this season is 2 point. He's got a goals prevented rating of 2.9. I don't even know what that is, but I think that's per game, which is the highest of any goalkeeper.
Is that
in
like the
Premier
opposite
League.
to XG?
I think it's the opposite to XG for goalkeepers.
Get
Josh
on
is
it,
nodding
John.
away. Josh is the generation that understands all this nonsense. But what we do know, though, is that Dean Henderson is an excellent goalkeeper. What we also know is that it doesn't matter how good a goalkeeper you are, you can't stop shots like Kluivert's in the rain at Dean Court. You can't stop a machine like Semenyo and the inventiveness of shooting and beating a goalkeeper through the legs with the acutest of angles. What we need to do is create more chances, and what we need to do is work harder at trying to put them away ahead of this predictable 0-0.
So we are going to ask for your score predictions in a moment as we come to the end of this interesting stream here that's been in two parts. So we do appreciate those of you that have transferred from the original stream to this stream. I do want to take a moment to thank everyone who subscribed to Cherries Red Army, anyone who's hit the like button, anyone who follows our content. I am going to attempt to get a vlog out for Crystal Palace. It might not come out on Sunday, but I'll drop it when I get home and find enough time to get it edited. I'll get it out for you. So just bear with me. Don't worry, because Back of the Net will get theirs out rapid time. By the way, Back of the Net, if you haven't seen it yet, they spoke to Jeff Mostyn the other day. They've got a 2-part interview with Jeff Mostyn. Really, really interesting stuff. Some of the stuff you may have heard before, but it was really good to hear Jeff in good spirits, and he spoke about some delicate stuff a little bit. So head over to Back of the Net. They spoke to Jeff Mostyn the other day, and it's on their content. But they'll have their vlog out, Sam Davis, and we'll get ours out as soon as we can. Take the opportunity to thank some really important people, the Cherries Red Army monthly members. Your contributions go towards us using StreamYard, which tonight has let us down a little bit, but we are back. So that helps. It also improves our content. But anyone who donates or becomes a member, thank you so much. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Cherries Red Army. I think someone in the chat on the previous stream where I wasn't here and John delivered it, they said that the link in the description, it's not going to be there because this is a different stream, but in the previous show, there's a link in the description. I've sorted that out. So the link for Buy Me a Coffee should now work. So thank you for your comment in the last chat. I've sorted it out. It should all be good. So in the chat, this is your opportunity to give us your score prediction as we round this up so I can let the guys go away for the rest of the evening for Crystal Palace versus AFC Bournemouth. What do you think the score will be? Guys, whilst they're in the chat giving their score prediction for that, shall we quickly have a look at other games in the Premier League this weekend? If I actually just bring the right tab on. Well, I mean, I was going to say, do we really care? But anyway, there's other games there. Forest, Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Manchester City, Everton, Sunderland, Wolves, Fulham, Arsenal, Tottenham, Villa, Liverpool, Manchester United, and West Ham taking on Brentford. Now, James, if I was going to say to you, if you weren't watching Bournemouth or listening out for Bournemouth, but you had to listen out to another one, which one would you watch? Or shall I just say you're going to be listening to Burnley?
No. I absolutely. I would be revisiting Scott Parker's unique brand of football at the Palace that is Turf Moor to watch them play Leeds United.
Against Leeds. They're going to win that, by the way. They'll win that. Of course they are.
I think looking at those ones, let's Fulham have got a bounce back in them. There's a surprise happening at Craven Cottage this weekend. Trust me. Watch out for that.
Josh. Monday night in London, West Ham, the worst stadium in the Premier League versus Keith Andrews Brentford. What else is on Monday night, Josh?
I don't know, but I will not be watching Brentford. I mean, they've been painful to watch this season. The long throws, the long balls. I mean, I was looking at Saturday, actually. The early kickoff could be quite a good one because it's Postecoglou at the City Ground, which could be quite... If he loses that could turn quite a bit. So I'd be quite interested to see...
Last chance saloon, potentially, for... I don't want to call him a fraud, but he's not as good as they made out. He's not as good as they made out.
He's not a fraud. He's not a fraud. They never let him get to the second season if they sack him. He maintains his record.
He always. David, I mean, Bournemouth fans got to make a journey at some point up to Sunderland. I know it was painful going to Newcastle. That's about another 15 minutes or 15 miles on, I think. Wolves are not in great form. I predicted them to get relegated a few seasons ago. They're in deep trouble this season. They got to go to Sunderland this weekend.
Yeah, it's a drab match. But yeah, I think that's another opportunity for Sunderland to get some more points and solidify their position in the Premier League, because I thought they were one of the teams that I had to go down, but that looks like that's not going to happen. That's that should be a game.
Right, get your likes up on this video, please, and let's dive into the chat, and then we'll come to James, David, and Josh, and we'll wrap up the stream. So Steve Connor's going for goals, 3-2 to the Cherries. Chris is going for the famous Cherries Red Army 3-1 alongside AFCB Fan TV 2. He's going for 3-1 as well. Cheers, Kirk, for all the content. No worries. 1-0 to the Cherries. Omid's going for a draw. Josh is happy to take a draw, but we'll come back to him in a moment. Aaron's going for 1-1 as well. We'll see you there, Aaron. Not sitting next to you this time. My fault. Didn't order the tickets at the same time as you did because I was just not on it. But anyway, I'll see you at the stadium. 3-2 to Mark and Bev, I think, anti-skeptic. Sammy's back in. I mean, it took 20 games to get the first one. I mean, how many games are we now in? 1 or 2? It might come back again, though. Stick with it. Sammy's going for 3-1. Mark Cole's going for 2-1. Let's stop there for the moment. Let's go to Josh. I'm sure on BBC Solent, you went for a Cherries 2-1. Have you changed your mind since Monday?
Well, I 100% am thinking it's a draw, and I would stick on the fence. But I said that we'd win on there, so I'll say it here too. I'll go 2-1 for us.
Yeah. James, how are you feeling? I mean, are we still in the fixture at half time?
My favourite Bournemouth match from Selhurst Park is in 1989. Pristine white kits, goals from John Williams, a screamer from Mark O'Connor, and a wonderful effort from a run from the halfway line and a through ball by Luther Blissett, scored by the diminutive Richard Cook, ended in Bournemouth 3, Crystal Palace 2. A Crystal Palace side, by the way, that had Mark Bright and Ian Wright in it. That ain't happening this weekend. Big fat 0-0.
But Omid says, great show, guys. Looking forward to the next one. We're back in, I think. Mark is saying 1-1, so Bev must have gone for the other score. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 3-2. 3-1, we got that one. Mark Singleton's going for is that 4-2 to the Cherries, or is that 4 Crystal Palace to Cherries? Just confirm that, Mark. Is that a Cherries win? I think John's going for 2-1 to the Cherries. We're always positive in the chat here when we're stepping up to games, and then it kicks off on Saturday, and then we're not sure. Wing, Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 3. Thank you very much. And Ethan, good to see you in the chat, is going for a 1-1. And look, staying unbeaten again on this little run would be absolutely amazing. So we've got James in with a 0-0. David, I think you're the last one to give me a score prediction.
Yeah, look, obviously I'd love to sneak a 1-0, but I'll probably go for a 1-1, and I'll reverse it up. I think we'll take the lead and they'll probably equalise.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I do want to go there and see a win. First time to Selhurst Park. I'm hoping I can see most of the game, and I haven't got a pillar in my way or half a stand. But it's about being there, isn't it, guys? So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm hoping there's goals. Hopefully. So I will go for 1-1 as well. But thank you so much to everyone who's joined us twice, take two on this stream. We do apologise for the first one, but we do promise to get James, David and Josh back. And as always, guys, I do ask for your final thoughts. So thank you very much. I know we had to go away, come back, and it unsettled us a little bit, but show business, James. We returned, we finished, we delivered, and that's what we've got to do on Saturday. But your final thoughts on tonight's stream for the guys in the chat and for you.
It's been a joy to be joined by these talents, these wonderful people from all around the globe. Thank you so much for providing such great company. And it's not about how you start against a Crystal Palace team that likes to start quickly. It's always about how you finish.
Justin Kluivert. That's what we're looking for. David, I don't know if you've got work ahead of you now. You're in Australia. Thank you so much. I know you have to get up early for this, and we want you on again in the season, but it's good to have your thoughts. Your final thoughts of this stream.
It's my pleasure. Glad to get up and talk cherries. I don't get to do it very often here in Australia. There are not too many of us around here. But final thoughts. First thought is thankfully the international break is over. 2 weeks of no Cherries football is. But yeah, just more of the same. It's just really enjoyable watching this team at the moment. It's just What more can I say? Just want to see more of it.
Enjoy your day in Australia today, David. Thank you very much. And Josh, thank you for stepping up on a few occasions for me to do some appearances with BBC. Really appreciate your final thoughts on this stream as we head towards London on Saturday.
Yeah, great to be back, firstly, talking Bournemouth. And yeah, I think just keep the positivity going, really. Keep moving up the table and hopefully get a bit of European football next season.
Wonderful. We will be back hopefully next week to talk about a Crystal Palace win. Well, a win over Crystal Palace, not a Crystal Palace win, but a Bournemouth win over Crystal Palace. That would be nice. That's what we'll like to come back to. So there should be a stream next week. I'll try and get out a vlog as well and any other content we can. But again, I do want to thank everyone for coming back for 2 parts of tonight's stream and just sticking with us and all the interactive chat. You've been busy again and some lots of positive comments and scorelines. So thank you again. Do subscribe. Do hit the like button. Cherries Red Army. We'll keep going through the season. Bournemouth for 4th. We could be higher at 5 o'clock on Saturday, but we'll see you on the next one. Look after yourselves over the next couple of days. Get behind the Cherries on Saturday. And we'll see you probably next week. From me, James, David, and Josh. See you on the next one. Up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries.
The Cherries.